God says this message reaches you tonight because time is running fast and heaven does not want you to miss what is unfolding. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, and his voice trembles, not with anger, but with the weight of what he is seeing. He says this is very serious. He says that Jesus himself is standing before the Father, pleading for you. He is not pleading for anyone else right now, only for you. The angels are gathered, whispering your name through the winds, and heaven is restless because something is about to shift in your life. You may not see it, but the spiritual world has been turning, preparing, aligning events that you cannot yet understand. God says, the bad news that seems to be forming against you is not meant to break you, it is meant to awaken you. But you must not ignore this message, because there is a thin line between what can be reversed and what will become permanent. Jesus is watching the decisions you are making right now, and he is sending signs that you must not dismiss. Every delay, every sudden silence, every strange emotion you have felt in the last few days has been heaven's attempt to get your attention. This is not a coincidence. Michael says there is a spiritual storm forming. Someone's words are being used against you. There is a person trying to twist what you have said, to turn favor into fault, light into shadow. And while they think they are hidden, heaven has already seen them. Jesus has already exposed their intention. But he needs your faith to activate the divine protection that is already prepared for you. You are not alone in this. Michael has already drawn his sword. God says, do not fear the message that warns you. It is not sent to terrify you, but to prepare you. What is coming will reveal the truth about several people in your life, people you trusted, people who smiled but hid their motives. You will soon see faces change, voices shift, and suddenly, you will understand why you had that strange feeling deep in your soul. The Spirit has been trying to show you that something is not right, but you brushed it off. Heaven is saying, listen now, before it becomes too late. Jesus is standing between you and something dark that was meant to harm you. He is interceding at this very moment. He has looked into your heart and seen your pain, your sleepless nights, your questions. He has seen how you kept your faith even when nothing made sense. And because of that, he has decided to intervene. But he needs you to believe that your prayers are not empty words. You are seconds away from an unseen shift, and heaven wants you to stay awake, not in fear, but in readiness. God says, someone has spoken badly about you recently, and that conversation has reached places you cannot imagine. But do not respond in anger. Let me handle it. Because by midnight, the truth will start exposing itself. Those who thought they could harm you with lies will suddenly face the consequences of their actions. Their own words will turn back toward them. The same mouth that tried to destroy you will be silenced. And you will see that I, the Lord, am not sleeping concerning you. Archangel Michael says that the sadness you have been feeling, that sudden heaviness in your heart, is not weakness, it is spiritual pressure from unseen warfare. You are being fought because your destiny is powerful. You are being attacked because heaven's light on you is bright. You are not cursed, you are chosen. But you must not allow fear to rule your heart. If you give in to fear, the darkness will grow stronger. Instead, pray. Speak to God tonight. Say, Father, I surrender everything to you. The moment you do, angels will begin to surround your home. You may even feel warmth, a calm presence, or sudden peace. That will be Michael's assurance that heaven has taken over your battle. God says, you are being protected from a situation that could have destroyed your reputation, your peace, or your future. Someone close to you was planning something harmful, but they are about to be exposed. Before 11:55 p.m. tonight, something will happen that will make you understand this message was not random. It may come as a phone call, a message, or a sign through a dream. You will know it because your spirit will feel it deeply. When that happens, do not panic, just say, "Thank you, God, for showing me the truth." That simple prayer will activate divine reversal. Heaven is not late. God has been quietly rearranging your path. You may have felt like everything was being taken from you, your energy, your peace, your confidence. But in reality, He was removing people and situations that could not go where you are being sent next. God is elevating you in silence. The attacks came because you were about to be lifted to a higher level of favor. The enemy wanted to stop that by sending confusion and fear. But Michael is saying now, stand firm. Do not give up just before your breakthrough arrives. Jesus is whispering your name with love. He says, do not be afraid of what they are saying. I have already gone before you. He knows that you have cried when no one was watching. He knows that you have been misunderstood, betrayed, and falsely accused. But he says, I will vindicate you. The same people who turned against you will soon realize they were wrong. The same hands that rejected you will soon wish to hold on to you again. But by then, you will have moved forward with strength and peace, because you trusted me. God says, if you ignore this message, you will cry, not because of punishment, but because you will realize how many chances heaven gave you to be ready. That is why this warning is filled with mercy. The bad news that is forming can be reversed by prayer, but only if you respond now. Do not postpone your spiritual actions. Light a candle, kneel, and speak your heart to me. I am not far away. I am in the same room with you right now, listening, waiting, ready to shield you. Michael says that between now and 11:55 p.m., there will be moments where you feel strange emotions, sudden tiredness, sadness, or even pressure in your chest. Do not fear. It is spiritual energy shifting around you. When that happens, call on the name of Jesus. Say His name aloud. The moment you do, light will fill the atmosphere. You may not see it with your eyes, but heaven will respond instantly. God says, you are walking into a destiny that was delayed but not denied. Everything that was stolen from you is being restored. There is a person who wronged you deeply, who thought they had escaped the consequences, but their conscience is heavy tonight. They are remembering what they did, and heaven is making sure justice is served. You do not need revenge, you need peace. And that peace will come when you let go and trust me completely. Jesus is begging for you not because you are weak, but because your soul carries divine purpose. He knows that you have been surrounded by confusion, that the voices around you have been pulling you in opposite directions. But he says, come back to me. Rest in me. Let me show you what I've been protecting you from. There is something you were about to walk into that seemed good but would have led you into destruction. Heaven stopped it. What looks like delay is actually divine intervention. Archangel Michael says your name has been mentioned in both heaven and hell. Heaven is protecting it, while darkness is trying to stain it. That is why strange misunderstandings and sudden emotional battles have appeared around you. But Michael promises that if you stand firm in prayer tonight, your name will be sealed with divine favor, and no curse will have access to you again. God says, the time is short. Do not wait until tomorrow. Before 11:55 p.m., speak to me. Do not overthink what to say, I already know your heart. Just open your mouth and say, Father, guide me. Protect me. Reveal what I need to see. That simple cry will move mountains in the spiritual realm. The angels are waiting for your words to act. In the coming hours, you may receive unexpected news. It may sound worrying at first, but remember this message. What seems like bad news will soon turn into your biggest blessing. Heaven allows shaking only to remove what cannot stand. You will lose nothing that was meant for you. Instead, you will gain strength, wisdom, and divine clarity. God says, trust me even when the path looks dark. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The things that are falling apart are not accidents, they are divine restructuring. Every closed door is a form of protection. Every silence is a signal that something greater is being formed behind the scenes. Michael says, hold on. Because after this night, your spirit will feel lighter. The heaviness that has been pressing on your shoulders will start to lift. A sign of this will come in the form of peace that does not make sense, sudden calm after a storm. When you feel it, know that heaven has already taken charge. God says, your safety is guaranteed if you stay under my protection. You are surrounded by light even if you cannot see it. You are being watched over even as you read this. Every prayer you whisper tonight will echo in eternity. Nothing you say in faith will go unheard, so before 11:55 p.m., make time. Turn off the noise around you. Sit in silence. Speak from your heart. Let your tears fall if they come, because heaven understands them better than words. This is your sacred hour. This is your moment of rescue. God says, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust me and pray. I am closer than your own breath. I have already sent Michael to stand guard by your door. I have already written your name in light. The battle is not yours, it is mine. And by dawn, you will know that you were never forsaken. You were always loved, always chosen, always protected. Now trust and wait. The angels are moving. The bad news is being rewritten into divine victory. Heaven has spoken, be still and believe, God says, my beloved child. Do not be afraid of the words that are reaching your heart tonight, for this message has been sent to you not to create fear, but to awaken your spirit to something deeply sacred that heaven has been preparing for you. Archangel Michael stands near you now, holding his sword of divine light, his wings spreading warmth and protection over your entire being. He whispers your name in the language of heaven and says, "This is very serious. Jesus is begging for you, only you." Those words are not to frighten you but to remind you that heaven's eyes are fixed on you for a reason that even you cannot yet see. There is a stirring in the spiritual realm. Something is shifting. For a long time, you have felt unseen, unheard, misunderstood, and tired of waiting for change. You wondered if God truly remembered your prayers, if your tears were just falling into silence. But what you didn't know was that every single tear has been collected by angels. Every sigh, every night you whispered, "God, please help me," was heard. Nothing you said was wasted. Nothing you suffered was unseen. Tonight, heaven is moving, Jesus is interceding for you. He is bending before the Father, saying, "That one, the one reading this message now, has endured enough. Let their breakthrough come." He is pleading because he knows the storm that is approaching you, something that was meant to harm you. But heaven will turn it for your good. The bad news that tries to reach you will not destroy you. It will awaken something powerful inside you. You will cry, but not tears of defeat, tears of release, of divine realization that God has been working behind every closed door. Archangel Michael says he has been battling for you day and night. There are dark whispers trying to reach your name, and forces that tried to delay your blessings. He has been cutting the cords of fear, envy, and deception that surrounded you. The enemy tried to make you give up, to make you think your prayers didn't matter. But God says, they do matter. And they are about to manifest. My child, listen carefully. Before 11:55 p.m. tonight, heaven will send you a spiritual sign. It might come as an unexpected message, a sudden chill, a burst of warmth in your chest, a light flicker, a familiar song that carries a strange peace, or an inner whisper that says, "It's me." That will not be coincidence. That will be confirmation that the divine army has stepped in to rearrange your destiny. The bad news that was meant to reach your door will not destroy you, it will pass over, because your faith has called upon heaven's mercy. God says, you are being tested in this season. You are standing between the closing of one chapter and the birth of another. That is why things feel confusing and heavy. But trust this, endings often come disguised as tragedies. Yet they are heaven's way of clearing the way for something new. You may think something is being taken from you, but what is truly happening is divine replacement. What's being removed is what cannot stay in your future. Archangel Michael wants you to pray tonight with all your heart. Don't use complicated words. Just say, God, I trust you. Even if I don't understand what's happening, I know you're with me. Those words open portals in heaven that release miracles. You do not have to fix everything on your own. God is already working through unseen people, unknown connections, and divine timing to make what is meant for you impossible to lose. Jesus is weeping with love for you right now. He sees how exhausted your soul is. You've carried heavy burdens, responsibilities, heartbreaks, disappointments. But he says, lay them down. You were never meant to carry them alone. The more you surrender to his love, the lighter you will feel. Your heart will begin to heal from wounds that seemed impossible to recover from. The moment you release control, you invite miracles. God says, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. The same God who parted seas, who closed lions' mouths, who raised the dead, is watching over you. The reason he is sending this message urgently is because something is happening soon that could shake your emotions if you're not spiritually prepared. A situation around you, someone's sudden change, a shocking truth, a word spoken against you, may seem like bad news, but God will use it as divine exposure. What was hidden will come to light. What was stolen from you will be returned sevenfold. Archangel Michael says you have a divine calling that many don't understand. That's why you've been attacked more than others, why certain people envy you, why others distance themselves when your spirit rises. You carry a light that threatens the darkness. That light will never be extinguished because it comes from God Himself. And now that you've read this message, you've entered into spiritual awareness. You're not the same person you were a few minutes ago. Heaven has marked you with protection. Do not ignore this moment. Do not rush away. Close your eyes for a minute and breathe. Feel that invisible warmth? That is not imagination. That is Archangel Michael placing his hand upon your shoulder. He says softly, I am here. You are not alone. There's a door that has been locked for a long time, something you've prayed about for years, maybe a dream, a financial release, a relationship, or healing. God says, before this month ends, I will open that door. But He adds, don't let fear make you close it again. The key is your faith. Even if you can't see the way forward, walk as if it's already opened. Heaven responds not to fear, but to faith. The bad news is not punishment, its transformation. You might receive something that seems painful, a rejection, a loss, a sudden shift, but when the dust settles, you will understand why it had to happen. God removes people and things that would have delayed your greatness. What you think you're losing, you're actually being protected from. Jesus says, "I am begging for you, only you, because your life has a divine assignment. You are meant to touch others, to heal others, to speak light into darkness. But you cannot pour from an empty vessel. That's why heaven is calling you to refill your soul through prayer. You may feel unworthy, but grace says otherwise. You may feel small, but the kingdom of heaven calls you mighty. Archangel Michael reminds you that he has saved you from near destruction more times than you know. When you almost fell into despair, he lifted you. When danger came near, he blocked it. When people plotted in secret, he confused their plans. He is the silent guardian who never left your side. But tonight, he says, please listen. Do not ignore the signs. Stay still, pray, and trust. Something powerful will unfold after this message. You may sense a sudden urge to cry, to release emotions you didn't know were still buried. Let it flow. That's your soul being cleansed. The Holy Spirit is entering your atmosphere, filling every broken space with healing light. God says, the storm is temporary. The blessing is permanent. Whatever is coming, it is not to destroy you, it's to awaken you. You will soon say, if that didn't happen, I would never have found peace. The pain will give birth to wisdom. The confusion will turn into clarity. And the delay you hated will make perfect sense. Heaven's clock is counting down to your restoration. The angels are aligning events in your favor. People who once ignored you will remember your name. Opportunities that were closed will call for you. Your faith is the signal heaven responds to. Even now, as you read these words, your energy is shifting. Your atmosphere is clearing. You are being lifted into divine protection and favor. God wants you to know this: you are safe. You are loved. You are chosen. The fear that tries to whisper bad news into your mind has no power. The shadow may come near, but light always wins. And you are that light. Pray tonight, before 11:55 p.m. Sit in silence, say your name to God, and thank Him for saving you before the storm even began. You will feel His presence, because He never leaves the one He loves. This is your sacred moment. Heaven is watching you, protecting you, surrounding you. Do not worry about the bad news anymore. It's already being rewritten into divine victory. God says, rest now. You are safe. You just have to trust me and pray. God says, this message is not ordinary. Heaven is trembling as this moment unfolds, and Archangel Michael has been sent again to reach you before the time runs out. It's 11:55 p.m. in heaven's clock, and every angel has turned their gaze toward you. Jesus is not asking for anyone else, he is begging for you, only you. Something has been seen in the spiritual realm, something that could bring sorrow if ignored. But listen carefully, nothing will go wrong with you if you trust God, if you stay in prayer, if you open your heart right now. You are safe under divine protection, but you must hear every word before the clock turns, for what happens next depends on what you choose in these next moments. Archangel Michael says he has fought all day for you. He stood at the edge of heaven's gate, sword drawn, as dark energies tried to block your path. These forces are not imaginary, they are real emotions, real memories, and real pain sent by those who don't want you to rise. They whispered lies to make you doubt yourself, to make you think you were forgotten by heaven. But Michael broke through the walls of that deception. He saw you sitting quietly, unaware that heaven's army was gathered because of your name. When Jesus looked at Michael, his eyes filled with tears. "Save them," he said, "even if they have stopped believing, save them because they belong to me." And so Michael flew down, carrying this message, urgent, trembling. Alive with the breath of God, you may have noticed strange emotions lately, sadness that appears for no reason, sudden tiredness, unexpected moments where your heart feels heavy or confused. These are not random. Michael reveals they are spiritual signs, warnings from heaven that something has been stirring in the unseen world. Someone's jealousy, someone's hidden resentment, someone's curse-like words may have been spoken against your peace. But God says, "Do not be afraid. I have seen it. I have intercepted it. Yet, you must pray tonight. Not a small prayer. A prayer from your soul. Whisper his name, Jesus, and let your tears fall if they must, for those tears will cleanse away what the enemy planned for you. There is bad news forming, yes, but only for those who wished evil against you. What they prepared for your downfall is returning to them. Michael says, do not touch revenge. Do not speak their name with anger. Heaven is taking care of it. The one who plotted behind your back will suddenly lose the strength of their false power. The person who mocked you in secret will see your light rise higher than ever. God says, their bad news will become your breakthrough. That is why you must not ignore this. If you ignore, you allow fear to enter, and fear attracts what faith can destroy. Tonight, before 11:55 p.m., sit in silence for a few moments. God wants to touch your spirit directly. Do not think about your phone, your worries, or your failures. Close your eyes. Imagine a golden light entering your room. This is not imagination, it's Michael's presence. He comes to anoint your space with divine protection. The air may feel warm, or your skin may tingle. That's how angels announce they're near. He stands beside you now, placing his hand upon your shoulder, whispering, "You are safe. You are chosen. You are protected. But you must stay awake in faith. Jesus says your name has been mentioned before the throne. The Father looked at your destiny and said, I cannot allow harm to reach them. But heaven is strict about timing. There are divine windows, moments when obedience opens miracles. This is one of them. If you delay, you may miss the flow of blessing that was scheduled for tonight. If you pray now, everything shifts, the blockages in your finances, the confusion in your relationships, the health struggles that have lingered too long. All of them begin to move when heaven's timing aligns with your faith. God says the bad news that was forming was about something precious to you, a plan that seemed stable but was secretly attacked. It could be your peace of mind, your loved one's health, or even your future opportunity. But don't panic. It's not over. Jesus is begging for you because he saw what the enemy tried to take. He stepped into your timeline to restore it. He told Michael, Go, remind them they are loved, and I will personally turn their tears into oil of joy. The oil of joy is what cancels bad news. It transforms pain into purpose. Archangel Michael is showing an image of a clock turning slowly, each minute glowing brighter than before. He says the countdown to your restoration has already begun. Every second that passes brings you closer to the divine reversal. What was meant to break you will become the reason you rise. What looked like rejection will soon be revealed as redirection. The people who left your side will be replaced by those heaven handpicked for your growth. God says, Do not cry over what I removed. Cry only in gratitude for what I'm about to give. You might feel a strange stirring in your chest right now. That is your soul recognizing truth. Jesus is near, not far. His hands are stretched out, glowing with mercy. He says, I am not angry with you. I am pleading for you because I still see greatness inside you. You have been harder on yourself than heaven ever has. You thought your mistake separated you from divine favor, but God says, no, they only prepared you to value what's coming next. You are not behind. You are right on time. The delay you thought was punishment was actually divine protection. There's something else Michael reveals. You are about to receive unexpected contact from someone who carries news that could change your path. At first, it may seem uncomfortable or shocking, but look deeper. This person's arrival is not random. They are a messenger disguised as an ordinary person. Their words will confirm what you are reading now. They will mention something oddly specific, perhaps a number, a date, or a word that echoes what you feel right now. That is how you'll know it's a sign. When it happens, do not fear. Smile quietly and thank God. Heaven has been adjusting the direction of your journey. Every disappointment you faced in the last few weeks was actually part of that alignment. You were being pulled away from danger. The bad news you feared has already been rewritten, but only if you keep your faith active tonight. If you lose heart, it may delay your manifestation, but if you pray and trust, the shift will be instant. Michael says, miracles don't always appear loudly, they unfold softly, like dawn breaking after a storm. Jesus is begging not because he doubts you, but because he loves you too much to see you miss your moment. He remembers the times you prayed alone, the times you gave even when you had little, the nights you cried but still whispered, I trust you, Lord. Heaven counts those moments as treasures. Now it's time to collect the rewards. But the gate opens only when your heart is calm, trusting, and ready. That's why he sends this warning, not to scare you, but to wake your spirit to the urgency of now. You are safe. You are divinely guarded. The forces that rise against you are powerless once you believe. There is nothing more powerful than a soul that trusts God completely. So tonight, before the clock reaches 11:55, place your hand on your heart and say quietly, God, I receive your protection. I accept your timing. I let go of fear. You may feel warmth spreading through your chest as you say it. That is the energy of heaven sealing your prayer. God says, your miracle will not come through panic, but through peace. The bad news they intended for you will become good news for your destiny. A sudden change, an unexpected breakthrough, is forming right now behind the scenes. Someone who once ignored you will soon remember you. A message, a call, a letter, or a new door will open without struggle. Michael says, when that happens, don't question it. It's heaven's compensation for all your pain. Remember, the angels are recording your response right now. Whether you choose fear or faith decides what unfolds. Choose faith. Believe that this is your divine interception. Jesus is still pleading because he sees your future glowing with purpose. Don't let temporary pain blind you to eternal promises. You are chosen for something rare, divine restoration before midnight. The universe is aligning in your favor. The heavens are whispering your name. You are not alone. Not forgotten, not unworthy. You are the reason heaven's army stands guard tonight. You are safe. You just have to trust God and pray to Him with your whole heart. Whatever bad news was coming has already begun to dissolve in the light of your faith. Stay still, breathe deeply, and whisper, I believe. And as the clock nears 11:55 p.m., know that every angel in heaven is singing one thing over you, peace be with you. God says, my beloved child, I am watching you even now as your heart beats faster because something deep inside you feels the urgency of this moment. You are not reading these words by accident. Heaven arranged this encounter because time is trembling. Archangel Michael has spoken in the courts of heaven. And Jesus himself has bowed before the Father, pleading for your protection. This message is not like the others you have seen or heard. This one carries divine fire. It carries a weight that even angels whisper about. Before 11:55 p.m. tonight, something unseen will be moving toward you, something that was meant to destroy your peace, but because you are chosen, heaven is intervening. You must open your heart now, not later. Michael stands beside you. His wings are open wide, his sword drawn, not in wrath, but in fierce love for you. He has been watching the shadows trying to form around your path, and his voice shook through the heavens when he said, "This is serious." If they ignore this message, they will cry not because they are weak, but because they will realize what was being prevented. Jesus has been praying for you in ways you cannot imagine. Every tear you shed in silence, every night you stayed awake wondering why you felt the air so heavy, he saw it all. He gathered those tears, and now they are the reason this message has been sent. Right now, there are forces trying to bring confusion into your life, through people, through sudden emotions, through words that sound innocent but carry poison. Heaven is exposing this. Before 11:55 p.m., the truth will begin to reveal itself. Do not fear when you sense your body or your mind reacting strongly. It is not chaos, it is purification. Archangel Michael is cleansing the air around you. He is commanding every hidden darkness to flee. You might feel tired, restless, or suddenly emotional. It is because the spiritual atmosphere is shifting. This message is a bridge between what you have been enduring and what you are about to see. God says, "My child, do not let the noise of the world drown this truth. You are deeply loved, so much that heaven rearranged its order for you tonight." When I told Michael to speak to you, I said, "Tell them not to fear. Tell them I am with them." He came not as a messenger of judgment, but as a guardian of destiny. The bad news that was forming is only a shadow. It cannot consume you if you keep your eyes on me. You may receive messages, hear whispers, or feel sudden heaviness, but remember these words: I am already standing in the place where the danger was being formed. Jesus is still interceding. He said, "Father, they have suffered enough confusion. Let this night bring light. Let them feel my presence again." And heaven agreed. That is why you are here, reading this right now. Nothing about this is coincidence. There are no coincidences in the language of heaven. Every second from now until 11:55 p.m. is being measured with divine intention. If you stay calm, if you pray even once with your full heart, you will shift what was coming. Your prayer does not have to be perfect, it only needs to be honest. Say this now in your heart: God, I receive your protection. Jesus, I trust your mercy. Michael, guard me with your light. When you say this, you form a spiritual shield that no dark energy can penetrate. Heaven has seen how tired you are. You have been walking through invisible battles, wondering why your strength feels drained. But now a reversal is happening. The things that were meant to make you cry will begin to lose their power. The tears you might have cried will turn into strength. Every painful thought will be turned into a message from heaven reminding you that you are not alone. Michael is showing a vision of you standing in light. Around you, shadows try to come closer. But every time they reach, a burst of golden fire pushes them back. That is your soul in prayer. That is how powerful you are when you align with God's will. Even when you think you have no strength, heaven sees your resilience. You are not ordinary. Your life carries assignments that even angels respect. That is why the enemy tries to bring fear, because fear is the only doorway through which confusion enters. But you have something stronger, divine awareness. The moment you realize that God is already fighting for you, the darkness loses its permission to touch you. You might hear bad news soon, something unexpected, maybe a rumor, a setback, or a strange coincidence that feels unsettling. Do not panic. It is not meant to break you. It is heaven's way of showing what was hidden. What seems like bad news is the unveiling of truth, and after the truth is revealed, peace will follow. This message is your preparation. God does not want you to be surprised. He wants you to be centered. Remember, even when storms rise, Jesus walks on water. If He can walk on chaos, He can make you stand firm within it. Tonight, before 11:55 p.m., spend a moment alone. Turn off the noise around you. Breathe deeply and whisper, God, I am ready for what you have for me. When you do this, the energy around you will shift. You might feel warmth or sudden stillness. That is Michael's presence confirming that you are under protection. Do not ignore this sign. Heaven speaks not through fear, but through awareness. You are being awakened, not warned for punishment, but prepared for breakthrough. God says, you have been faithful even when you thought you were forgotten. Every quiet act of kindness you did, every prayer you whispered when no one saw, is being remembered. There are records in heaven that hold your name written in light. You have no idea how precious you are to me. When the angels gather in praise, they speak of souls who have remained true through trials, and your name is among them. That is why this message carries urgency, not because you are in danger, but because you are important. The greater your calling, the stronger the opposition, but also, the greater the divine response. Jesus says, tell them that I am still standing beside their name. Tell them I am not ashamed to call them mine. When you feel unworthy, remember that I already paid the price. You do not need to prove your worth. You only need to accept that you are already chosen. There is grace around you that you have not yet tapped into. Heaven wants you to walk in it. Archangel Michael is commanding legions now. He is saying your name before the heavenly throne, declaring, they belong to God. Their time has come for protection and favor. That is why even as you read, your heart feels a pull, a sense that something invisible but powerful is surrounding you. It is not imagination. It is manifestation. You are being covered under divine wings, my child. Do not ignore what your spirit feels. This message will echo in your heart later tonight when everything becomes quiet. You will remember these words: God is with me, and nothing will go wrong. Say it aloud when fear tries to whisper lies. The bad news that tries to reach you will dissolve into clarity. You will begin to see why some people acted strangely, why delays happened, why your plans shifted. Heaven was rearranging things to remove hidden danger. You may notice signs after this: numbers repeating, sudden flashes